Yeah! Oh yeah! What is up, my dudes and dudettes? We're all dudes, though, as Good Burger would say. Or the people from Good Burger. Good Burger itself is not a real person. But what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the Scream stream. Doing some final thoughts on Scream 6. It's been a couple of weeks. Let's talk a little bit about how we feel about it now. I feel like, you gotta let things settle, let the dust settle. And now let's talk it. Let's break it down a little more. Talk a little bit about just our final thoughts on this, and tomorrow we will be talking our first early predictions on Scream 7 for tonight, or tomorrow night, I mean at like 7-ish as well. So we got some stuff to talk about and break down tonight. First of all, Tori is celebrating 2 months being a member. Thank you so much, Tori, and I appreciate that. You rule. You absolutely rule. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that a whole lot. That sounded scary. You guys are throwing some great stuff in the chat, by the way. I was just reading your stuff before I even got in here, and I'm just like, I can't wait to talk about literally all of this. That sounded scary is saying, I've seen this movie 7 times now. Nice! And every time I notice something else I didn't before. Can't wait for 7, hopefully next year. Yeah. Dude, I've seen it 3 times. I love it. I still love it. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to break it down. Absolutely, man. 7 times. That's awesome, man. that's killer. That's killer, dude. I gotta see it at least one more time, for sure. Twilight Sparkle Fan 2006 is saying Scream 7 on a cruise ship. Thoughts? I absolutely love that. That's a great idea. Like, what are you gonna do? Call the police? No. The fuck are they gonna do? Get a helicopter out there? Probably not. I mean, I'd buy it. I would buy it. It would be maybe a bit of a stretch for people who know everything there is to know about cruise ships. But like, if you told me characters are on a cruise ship, they have no way to get help, and a guy's stalking and killing them, yeah, I buy it. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. I'm all about that, Twilight Sparkle Fan 2006. Yes. Spicy General is congratulating Tori, yes. Welcome, General. Welcome. The spiciest of generals. In it tonight. Omni's here too, who's also a Killjoy cult member. I appreciate that, saying movie made 120 million global. Let's go. Almost the entire run of 5 in 2 weeks. Insane. It saw a little bit of a decline, but let's focus on the positives here. This movie's making a shit ton of money, which is awesome. That means more Scream films in the future, and hey, if you didn't like this one, there'll be more. And maybe Sydney will be back too. Lots of good stuff coming. Omni, I love this movie so much, and I'm so glad it's successful. Yes. Let's go. Good stuff. Twilight Sparkle Fan 2006 is also saying the Killjoy Jake out of context compilation needs to be real. So my buddy's working on a part 2, and I think I'm gonna mush 1 and 2 together, and I'm just gonna post it because I'm like, man, that's so fun. Some of this shit's great. I love it. So I am absolutely going to try to post that at some point. I think I've had some funny moments too just throughout the year so far. So I'm excited to get to those. And I love this too, Omni. Radio Silence calling out the hate on Melissa. They went off on Dead Meat's pod. I still haven't finished that. I gotta finish that whole interview. I haven't had time. Jake's been busy. Things are crazy right now. Things are super crazy right now, actually. I have so much to tell you guys about here in the near future that I'm so excited to announce. I'm writing a bunch of little projects right now that I can't wait for you guys to see. But yes, this is great. I love how they addressed it in the movie too, with her literally saying like, I hate being like, this sucks being hated so much. It's hilarious. Like, that line is so powerful. It's so interesting. There's so much to take from that. I don't know. I loved the little tiny bouts of commentary. It wasn't too in your face. It was nice. It's really good stuff. I love it. What else do we got here though? What's going on, Night Owl? How's it going? Did Anika's, or Annika, however you want to pronounce it, Annika's death feel like Tatum's death to you? Not really. Tatum's death is a lot goofier than Annika's death, I feel. Like, I love it. Tatum's death is iconic as all hell, but it's way goofier. I don't know. It feels less personal than Tatum's death too. Like, Tatum's death feels really, really personal. Your good old fashioned, girl walks down the street or whatever. She's alone. She gets killed. That's what that death feels like to me. Anika's death feels more. I keep saying that. Annika, like Anne and Ika put together. Annika's death feels more modern to me, where Tatum's feels more old school. So they actually kind of, to me, they're on like totally different ends of the spectrum for Scream kills, in my opinion. Aaron Underwood's here saying, hey, what's up, Aaron? Welcome. What's up, Johanna? Welcome. Hello. Scream 6 rules. Love it, John. Love it. Annika's saying I have a massive crush on Jenna Ortega. Hell yeah. I don't know why you're saying that here, but hell yeah. Kelly Anderson is saying it was amazing. Loved it. Gail's call, top tier. Kirby's return. Yes, absolutely. The call was great. That was probably my, man, Ghostface wise, that was probably my favorite part was Gail's phone call. Writing was on point. I loved all the shit they talked about. Really good shit. Sammyverse is saying, do you think Greg counts as a Ghostface or not? Because I still count him since they imply he killed people before too. So Sammyverse, I ranked all the Ghostface killers. Yes, I count him as one. I think the big factor when it comes to a Ghostface is, like, are they implied as a villain or not? I feel like that's the big factor that you have to have in there. Otherwise, you could count Sam or even Sydney as Ghostface killers, and that's just not right. You know what I mean? Not yet for Sam. Not yet, but I feel like it would just be wrong to count either of those characters as of right now as Ghostfaces, where Greg, the only point of his existence is that he was at one point a Ghostface. You know what I mean? So that, me personally, that's how I counted them. So in my headcanon, there are 14 Ghostface killers at this time. But maybe there's more that I don't know about. Maybe Angelina is one, there's more things that we could talk about in the future, so. Ty is saying, I forgive it. I know I was harsh getting ready to see it Wednesday in 3D. Why not? Hell yeah. It's not a perfect movie, Ty. I'll tell you that. I get a lot of the hate that it has, but at the same time, I look at a lot of the things that people are criticizing about this film, and I'm like, all of those things can apply to every other sequel. I love this franchise so much, but it's not perfect, and that's totally fine. There's not a horror franchise that is perfect. Every franchise has its problems, and same with Scream, as well as Saw. And I love Saw. Fuck, Saw's up there for me personally. That's in my top 10 franchises maybe of all time, and even that has a bunch of problems. But I love it, man. I love this franchise. They're always so much fun. I don't know. I really think that if you want to have another great mystery where just nothing is expected at all, you need a hard cut, like a hard stop on the story we're telling right now. We got to tell a new story if we're ever going to get that again, in my opinion. I love what they did with 6, but once again, I think this is the best that they could have done with the ongoing story. It's tough to tell a new mystery within that. We were kind of just talking about that on the collective, and I got that on the brain now, so I apologize if I say that a lot tonight. It's something that I'm like, yeah, that's actually, I kind of feel that now. I'm starting to feel that with the franchise. I still love it. I love the continuous story, but man, I feel like it's almost like might serve them better just let's start fresh. Let's get a good mystery going again. I don't know. Just me personally. Toby Show's throwing $2 in there. Thank you so much, Toby. I appreciate that. And your show saying Ghostface in Star Wars with a lightsaber. Can you imagine if he has a little lightsaber knife? It's like this big. maybe like this big. Yeah. That'd be kind of sick, actually. Slasher villain with a lightsaber. I'm gonna be honest. That actually would be kind of cool. Someone make that movie. That would be kind of sweet. Toby Show, I hope you're on it, man. Make a little short with somehow a slasher villain gets a lightsaber. I'm into it. I think that's kind of fucking crazy. Toby, thanks for the $2. Skip is here. What's up, Skip? Sarah Campbell's here as well. Thank you for being a Killjoy cult member, and welcome. Sarah, I gotta say, I'm sending out your pin as well as Carrie's here real soon. For those friends out there who supported Red Right Hand all the way back in March of last year, we are sending those out. Sorry it's taken so long. Me and Matt have 100 ththings on our fucking plate right now, and it's taken a little while to get to that. But we are in the middle of it. We got all the VHS tapes done already, which is great. So we're just it's just like actually sending them out now, which is what we got to do. Everything's ready to go. It's all sitting in Matt's basement pretty much. But yeah, we'll have that out to all of you guys soon, just to give a little update on that. I haven't really given an update. If you're still on the Kickstarter though, we've been doing updates, so it's all there. Perry, what's going on? Throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much, Perry. I appreciate that. Saying Mia Goth opening kill in Scream 7. Opening kill, man. Listen. I love it. Like, Perry, I love it. But wouldn't she be great as a Ghostface? Like, man. She would be so obvious, though. If she was a main character, dude, come on. She would be the killer. I wouldn't care, though. Once again, she would play such a good Ghostface. Oh, that would be awesome. But opening kill would also be good, too. Like, if Samara Weaving was in the entire 6th movie, I would be like, she's definitely the killer, but I can't wait for the 3rd act. I can't wait for that monologue. Holy fuck. I would love her just in a Scream movie. Mia Goth is phenomenal. Everything she's been in, I think just in the past like year or two has been insane. X, Pearl, fucking Infinity Pool, which nobody's talking about for some reason. It's still my favorite horror movie of the year. I don't know what's going on with that. More people need to see Infinity Pool. Check that movie out. Mia Goth is so good in it. James, come on. None of y'all get that. That's fine. Perry, thank you for the $5 though. I appreciate it. I'm gonna enjoy my gross little indie horror flicks in my disgusting little corner of filth, all by myself, I guess. I'm kidding. I kid, of course. Toby Show's throwing $2 in there too, saying Mickey Altieri has entered the chat. God, what I wouldn't do for another Ghostface with this same idea, just like the main focus of a movie, because Mickey's motive is so interesting to me. I love Timothy Olyphant. Man, it really is a shame. Really is a shame we don't have more of this kind of Ghostface in these movies, because I love Mickey so much, and he's overshadowed, man. He's overshadowed. I've shit on Scream 2 too much though lately. I love Scream 2, and I think everyone I think everyone wants to say that I hate Scream 2, but I love it. I love it so much, and I love Mickey. And fuck it, I love Mrs. Loomis too. I love her. I'm a closeted Mrs. Loomis fan. There you go. I actually love Mrs. Loomis. She's the best killer. Toby, thanks for the $2. I appreciate it. Andrew Oliver's here. What's up, Andrew? Saying no perfect horror franchises. Evil Dead would like a word. You know, you're right. Actually, you're so right. Fuck. Can't wait to see Evil Dead Rise too, man. Fuck, that's gonna be so good. Holy shit, man. I stand corrected. Evil Dead. Top tier. Not even a slightly bad movie in that franchise. Holy shit. God, you want to talk about something that's perfect? There you go. Toby Show's throwing $5 in there again. Thank you so much, Toby. I appreciate that. Saying the Delta Lambdas are the biggest bunch of what was Mickey gonna say? Man, needed to be more Mickey, man. Needed more Mickey there. I love him so much. He's so fucking crazy. He's like the craziest Ghostface. I love him. I love him so much. I want more Mickey, Toby. I feel you on that. I want some more Mickey in my movies. More Mickey Mouse running around in a Ghostface costume. That's all I want. Toby, thank you for the $5 though. And thanks for being a Mickey fan. Mickey's underrated. Mickey's motive is out there, but I want to see how it would play out in a courtroom. Here's what's out there about it, Austin. Like, would he actually have gotten away with it? Probably not. But I think the idea that he was so passionate about blaming the movies, that's what's so interesting to me. I don't think it would have worked. Like, I definitely don't think it would have panned out for him. But that's what I love about Mickey. He's so fucking crazy. He thinks he can get away with anything just because, there's a movie based on the same thing about it. That's crazy to me, man. That's fucking awesome. But it's a perfect Scream motive, and it's... I know people hate when I say this, but it's underdeveloped. If that was the focus, I would be right there alongside y'all saying Scream 2 is a masterpiece. I seriously would. And all of the pieces and parts are there. They really are. But I just feel like it's just some things where I feel like should have a bigger magnifying glass on them in that movie. Because fuck, it is a masterpiece, but you need little pieces and parts to be bigger in that film, I think. Lots of ideas going on in Scream 2, and not all of them work. But the ones that do, they fucking work, man. They really fucking work. Oh, man, I love Scream 2. I love it. So I'm going to stop shitting on it, because I really do shit on it too much. Sarah's saying we love some unhinged Mickey and Stu energy. Yes. Oh, it's good stuff, Sarah. I love it. Mickey had said that in the courtroom, he'd be thrown straight. Barry, you're right. you're right, and that's why I love Mickey. He's nuts. He throws some crazy shit out there, and it's awesome. I don't think he wouldn't have gotten away with it at all. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Without at all, in no way. Toby Show's throwing $5 out there saying, I love how I say stop praising serial killers and I'm praising Mickey. Also got casted as young Mickey Altieri. Holy shit, nice. A fictional serial killer. You know what I mean? That's fine. We all love our fictional serial killers. We all love Stu. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I love Stu. I think he's great. I wouldn't want to hang out with the guy. Fuck that. He's going to stab me and think it's a game. He's like, haha, you got stabbed, nerd. He would probably say that to me. I wouldn't want to hang out with him, but do I love that character? Do I love Matthew Lillard's performance? Do I love Timothy Olyphant's performance here? Yes, I do. Toby, I love it though. And congrats on, I don't know what you got casted in, but congrats. That's awesome. All the love. Thanks for the $5. Greg's making a pretty good point though, but will anyone match Jill's unhinged energy? I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know. I should have probably said this 16 minutes ago, but there will be spoilers in this stream for Scream 6. Obviously, if you have not seen it. So yeah, don't spoilers for Scream 6. If you're just coming in here and you're like, oh, just a simple Scream 6 stream. No. There will be spoilers, my friends. Don't get spoiled if you haven't seen the movie yet. Will anyone match Jill's energy though? That's really tough. I think she's my favorite sequel killer. She kicks ass. She's super scary, super cold-blooded, evil, lemon-scented, all that good shit. Ugh, she's messed up. I don't know if we'll ever get another killer that good, but I'm excited to see what else happens with this franchise because I think there's a lot of potential moving forward now. We have so many different ideas that have been set up in this last film that I'm already hearing people say, God, I wish there was a whole movie of that. And it's like, guess what? That's a possibility now because of Scream 6. So I can't wait. I don't know. Jake's excited. Jake's excited for the future, baby. Let's go. Jason Dyer saying Timothy Oliphant starring in the new Alligator remake. We can only dream. Jason, I'm right there with you, man. Come on. Give me my Alligator. Give me my Alligator remake, requel, continuation. Oh my God, that would be awesome. Nothing would make me more happy, Jason. I love that movie. Such an underrated film. If you guys have not seen Alligator 1980, do yourself a favor and watch it. Watch that bad boy. Make it happen. Toby Show's throwing 5 in there again. Thank you again. Toby, you're already the MVP of the stream. You're already. We're 17 minutes in here. You're the MVP. Saying, Jake, talk about your thoughts the moment you got up from your seat in the theater. Great question. Man, I mean, leaving the theater, I was just blown away. I had a smile from ear to ear that entire movie, just like, wow, they're really doing it. They're really doing all the weird shit that I've been wanting to see in the franchise for a long time. That was my immediate reaction. I definitely have, after a few more watches, it's not a perfect movie. But none of these sequels are. None of them are perfect. And that's kind of what I was expecting anyways. The fact that it was so fun in the first watch, I'm like, fuck yes, this is killer, man. And I don't know, as far as sequels go, as Randy would say, they're inferior by definition. As far as sequels go, this one lived up to the hype and was killer. And I had a blast with it. My first, like I said, my initial thoughts, which you can very much so see in the review, was this is the best movie ever. Oh my God, I love this film so much. And I still do. I still really do. But it's not, I don't think it's 10 out of 10 masterpiece. I think it's maybe a little lower on my level now, but I still love it. Like, I still love it. It's still my favorite sequel. It does things that, like I said, I personally have been wanting to see the franchise do for a long time. And it did it. They did those fucking things. And that's why I was so hyped up about this film. I'm even still hyped up. I still smile when I see that opening scene, when I see the bodega sequence, the Gail phone call, the fucking ladder death. I mean, there's so many high points in that movie. I love a lot of what it did. So my initial reaction was, this is the best Scream movie ever. Oh my God, I love this. I was a mess. I was like literally planning on filming a little like, I'm gonna talk about the movie, my first reactions. I was a fucking mess, dude, coming out of the theater. I was so excited. Oh, I couldn't think. I was so excited, Toby Show. So thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Like I said, just probably the very best, probably the very best Scream experience I've ever had too. Or theater experience. Did I say Scream? Jesus Christ. Best theater experience I've ever had. Like Halloween 2018 comes very close because that was awesome too. But Scream 6, that's number one for me now. For sure. Hellfire Munson is throwing $5 in there. What's going on, man? How's it hanging? Haven't seen you in a while, so welcome. Saying, I saw Scream 3 times and loved it every time. I hope your day is going great. I have a deeper respect for Chad now. Love you, man. Love your streams. Thank you so much, man. I love you too. Thanks for being here. If Chad from Scream 5 would have died, and like as viciously as he did in this movie, I would have been like, okay, whatever. But the fact that he died, they brought him back in 6. I know it's controversial. Some people hate it. Some people are like, that's so unrealistic. But so is Dewey surviving Scream 2. It's not realistic. He should have died. I love it. I'm like, it's a Dewey callback. It works with this franchise. If it was somewhere else, it might feel out of place, but it totally works with Scream. This is nothing new for this franchise. So I love it. I love Chad's a great character too. I'm excited to see him in another entry. I love both the Meeks Martin twins actually. So the fact that both of them survived, it's kind of exciting to me. We're building new legacy characters, and that's a really interesting choice I think that Radio Silence is making here. So as much as I would have loved this film to be even more brutal, I appreciate what they're doing. It's very in the line of Scream, and it makes sense to me. So I love it, man. I dig it. Hellfire Munson, thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Lighting Ghost is throwing $2 in there as well. Thank you so much, Lighting Ghost. I appreciate that. Thanks for being a Killjoy cult member too. All the love. Saying, how do you feel about Billy being back again? It's so little, it's used in such a minimal way in Scream 6, I'm fine with it. In Scream 5, it was a little too much, it was so much, even like, how do I word this? It's too much only at the end in the third act, where Billy's like, there's a knife on the ground. It's almost like an NPC trying to direct you to the right, like the right area of a map or something if you're lost. It feels very out of place. At points in 5. In some places it works, some places not so much. It's still a little goofy, but as I said in my Scream 5 review all the way back when, it's Scream. It's Skeet Ulrich too. It's so cool to see him back. You know what I mean? He's the guy you think of when you think of Ghostface. And to see him back, it's cool. I love it. I had a fun time with it. So I'm not like, holy shit, that's the coolest thing ever, but it was cool to see him back, I think. I get some people who are like, I don't know how I feel about that. I get it. It's not like the greatest choice ever made, but it's cool that we got to see Skeet come back one more time. So I don't know. Will we see him in the next one? Maybe not. I feel like the whole idea of her discarding the mask at the end is kind of her like kind of getting past that. That's at least how I saw it. I thought they could have built off of that, and now I'm kind of questioning why we even need to do why we even established Sam as Billy's daughter. I'm still questioning where all of this is going, but I'm digging it. So far, I'm digging it. I want to see what happens with 7, which directly leads into my next little comment here. Lighting Ghost, thanks for the $2. Perry is talking about, I hope Radio Silence directs Scream 7. Having someone else direct worries me. I totally agree, man. I feel like, listen, if you are someone out there, which there are these people, if you are watching these new Scream films and you're like, God, they're trash, they're nothing compared to Wes Craven or anything, I can tell you right now that it will not get better. It will not get better if someone else decides to try their hand at it right in the middle of an already established story. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. Like, if you think that, let's just get somebody else to do it, that's not gonna make it better. I can assure you that's not gonna make it better. I would rather Radio Silence finish out the trilogy, finish a story that they're trying to tell here, even though it doesn't feel like, 5 and 6 feel like entirely different stories with the same characters, opposed to a continuation. I wish they had set it up a little more like that, opposed to just these are separate things with the same characters. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do for 7 though. I'm excited to see if they do it and what happens. Because listen, like we were talking about earlier, the movie's made $120 million globally already. We're not even into the third week yet. It's definitely going to surpass Scream 5 at the box office. So I have a feeling that they're going to do it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. At least Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt will write, which I think is very necessary at this point. Once again, if you hate this, if you hate everything that's going on right now in the Scream universe, I respect your opinion, but it's not going to get better if we just, bam, change the writers mid-story. If we're starting fresh again and we have brand new writers, brand new director, okay, cool. But if we're using the same characters created by these same writers, created by, from the Radio Silence people, it's not going to get better it's not going to get better just trying to pick up in the middle of a story. So I would rather Radio Silence finish out their story, and then if more people want to jump on, do Scream 8 afterwards, cool. Hell yeah. Or maybe this is the end of the Sam Core 4 story. Maybe that's it. Maybe this is it. And then Scream 7 is a brand new thing. All new characters. And somehow Sydney comes into it, Okay, cool. But I don't want another director hopping onto these characters. I would rather have new creatives come in, start their own whole story. It would just be better. It just would be a better product than trying to pick up right where someone left off in the middle of something. It doesn't feel like I said, it doesn't feel like a continuous story either. So maybe they could pick it up and do something with it, but I would worry it would worry me for sure, Perry. I'm right there with you. Thank you for the $5 though. Appreciate that. Austin is saying I'm not one to get all lovey-dovey with romance in movies, but I really like Chad and Tara. I do too. I felt like it was a very deserved moment. It's a win for both parties involved. That's how I feel about it. I'm excited that they're together, in a weird sort of way. It's like, yeah, okay, both of these characters have gone through some horrible trauma. It's nice that they're together and going through it together and not alone, So I'm like, okay, I like it. It doesn't feel forced either. I hate when, like, I already don't like romance in movies when it takes up a lot of the runtime, but then, like, when it's forced, oh man, then I hate it. It doesn't feel forced. Like, there was, they were already friends beforehand. Chad is recently single, as we know from the end of 5. So I'm okay with it. It's fine by me. And they also set it up really nicely by having the fucking guy try to take Jenna Ortega upstairs, and then he beats Chad beats the fuck out of him, and then he gets tased in the balls. Typical frat party. I liked it. I don't know. The setup was nice. Didn't feel forced. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it at all. Just S. What's up? How's it going? Is this a snake I'm talking to? What's going on? If there's a 7th installment, what if they don't reveal the Ghostface? I'm down with this if they make another movie. Like, that's my thing about it. That's why 6, I'm like, this is gonna be the movie to do a cliffhanger, and then we don't do a cliffhanger. So I don't know, it's tough. I think that if they're gonna make a 7 and they're gonna do something like this, and you want to do a cliffhanger, we need another movie. As simple as that. I wouldn't want to be left on a cliffhanger. Like, that would suck. I totally agree with that. But the idea of a cliffhanger moving into another film, that would be fucking sick. I would be all about that. So as long as that happens, then I'm good. As long as we get a conclusion at some point and we build up this Ghostface to be even more vicious and brutal than before, yeah, hell yeah, I'm all about that. That would be fucking sick. But it doesn't seem like Radio Silence is doing more than just one more film. Like, if we get 7 from Radio Silence or not. So I hope we do. I want them to finish their story. Like I said, is there really a story to finish at this point? Feels very conclusive at the end of 6. So I don't know. I'm very on the fence about it, but whatever we do next, I just hope it's good. Whatever it is, I hope it's good. I genuinely don't know. I feel the same way I felt after 5, where the story feels done. Like, it feels finished. Just like at the end of 5, now 6 also feels very conclusive. I don't know what we're gonna do. I really don't know what we're gonna do moving forward, but I'm excited to see it, whatever it is. Really no lead into that, though, is what my thing that I'm kind of on the fence about. Anyways, Toby Show throwing $5 in there. Again, Toby, thank you so much, man. Like I said, MVP. Let's go, baby. Nice. There's a video on the Toby Shoe where the boys and I watched Scream. Not good. Did somebody poop their pants? Were they scared when they were watching it? It's a fun movie. Great film to show somebody for the first time. I saw a viewer Anon tweeting about, he was like showing one of his friends Scream for the first time, and I guess she didn't know, like she thought like Dewey was the killer or something, I think is what he said. That's so fun. Like, that is so funny to me. I recently showed my brother all the Scream movies for the first time, and like he was trying to guess the killer the whole time. He didn't know who it was. He can probably, my brother lives with me. He could probably hear me screaming at the walls all the time. So he probably had some knowledge of who the killers were, but like actually watching the movies for yourself and it's different. It's very different. It's so fun to watch, though. If you have not watched any of the Scream movies if you know somebody who has not watched any of the Scream movies, watch them with them for the first time. It is so fun just watching them guess who the killer is. Oh, don't spoil it though. Don't you spoil it, because it's fun to see them get the reaction at the end. It's awesome. Love it, Toby Show. Thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Hope you guys had a fun time watching that together. Who hasn't tased someone at the balls at a frat? That's what I'm saying, Sarah. Not my first. No surprise there when I saw that. Jonathan's here. What's going on, man? How's it hanging? Jonathan's keeping you up with the good old horror news over on Twitter, so make sure to follow him. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Logan C's making some claims here, saying, yo, what up? I literally predicted every single one. Not one got through Logan's fingers. I like it. Even the guys at the beginning that I can't remember the name of. I felt like a genius in that theater. The power trip you must be on, Logan. My God, I have not guessed most of them correctly. Actually, in 6, I guessed 2 of them. One of them, I was like, oh, okay. They're actually doing that. Cool. So hell yeah, Logan, you trip, bro. You don't even trip. That's so funny. I love it. I love it. Sammyverse is saying, after Scream 7, I just wonder what they will tackle when it comes to the meta stuff. You know, it's a pretty good point. I feel like what's great about Scream is there's always going to be something to comment on as long as they keep making horror movies. There's always going to be something. Like, even this year opposed to last year. Like, let's look at analog horror, which is popping right now. This is like the new big thing. Fucking Skinamarink, probably the biggest culprit of this subgenre. We could make fun of that. If we could find a way to do that in Scream. We could find a way to make fun of that somehow, one way or the other. I don't think that'll happen, but once again, if Scream wants to start doing that, where it's like every 5 years they make another one of these movies, and then it's just focusing on what can we make fun of in the horror space right now. In my opinion, there's an endless number of shit that they could talk about. There's an endless number of things that they could pick and poke at that they could create entire stories around. Just kind of not spoofing, but I don't want to say attacking either, but somewhere in the middle of that. Between attacking and spoofing, poking fun at these different things. There's endless amounts of things. There's 100 things right now happening in the horror space they could make an entire Scream movie based on, in my opinion. So I would love that. I think that even 6 kind of starts to get away from it, but in my opinion, 6 was all about making fun of the franchise itself, and I also feel like that's a big reason why some people didn't like it that much, because it's kind of pointing out some of the flaws of its own franchise. So I don't know. I liked it. I think I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked what they kind of commented on here. It's interesting. It was interesting what they decided to pick on and keep present in the movie and comment on, I guess. But May Ann is saying, hey, he can hear you, Jake. Who can match your energy? Noah's got a lot of energy too. We're both fucking crazy. So in case you were wondering. El Chupacabra's throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Saying, watched 6 with a friend and she said Quinn reminded her of her ex. Well, you know, Quinn ended up being a killer, so I don't know what that says about this person's ex, but I'm glad this person is out of that relationship, is what I gotta say. God damn, that's terrifying. Quinn has some scary fucking moments too. I enjoyed what she brought to the table. It's good stuff. El Chupacabra, thanks for the $5. I hope your friend is okay. Just hope she's okay. Thank you. In this house. That trailer was awesome, Maxwell. Holy shit. That Skinamarink trailer. Ooh, scary, man. Scary shit. Maxwell's also saying, do I prefer werewolves or vampires or neither? I really like werewolves and vampires. I mean, like, are they a little overplayed in movies? A little bit, but like, man, there's a reason for that. You know, these are really great ideas for creatures. And I feel like whenever we try to create new creatures and stuff, it's rarely as in-depth with like the rules of what the fuck is going on with them, like how werewolves and vampires are. Maybe that's because we're more familiar with these concepts, but like I've seen movies that try to introduce like a new type of creature and they just don't do the rules all that well, or they're just not as defined. I wish we had a new monster movie that could introduce a werewolf, zombie, vampire level kind of creature, because man, like, we can do that. That's not that crazy. Like Gremlins, I feel like comes pretty close. You know, they're really cute sometimes and really goofy, like especially in Gremlins too. But I feel like they do that really well. You know, the whole after midnight thing, it's a bit ridiculous and literally does not make any sense. But like, I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be like that hard to develop a creature that has like some really specific weird rules and things that they have to do that could inflict more horror. It could be really interesting to play out in a scene. Like vampires. I mean, there's so much shit you can do with vampires. They can't go out in the sun. They have to drink blood or they'll die. You know, there's so much you can play into with that, and the psychology of it. Some movies have done it really well, some not so much. But I don't know. I probably prefer vampires, but werewolves also pretty fucking dope. Like, I like both a lot. We need another good werewolf movie, though. Like, if anything, absolutely yes to another werewolf movie. Let's see that happen. Let's see that happen. John Smith is saying, Jake, what happens if they make no more Scream movies? I'll cry. I'll be fucking sad. You know? Like, why not? Why not make another one? Especially with how much money this last one made. I mean, just money alone, I feel like that's why they'll do it, you know? But that's just me. Locked is here. What's going on, Locked? How's it going? Welcome. Man, we need a new vampire renaissance in movies. Watched the first 2 Underworlds recently, and man, I love them. Great 2000s nostalgia. Man, me too. Me, absolutely me. I love the Underworld movies. As trashy as some of them are, I don't care. Like, they are so much fun. Utterly my childhood were the Underworld movies. Same with the Resident Evil movies, which, like, you know, as someone who also loves the video games, in my mind, they're just 2 entirely different properties because, man, those movies are nothing like the fucking games. Not like absolutely nothing. But I still like them for being trashy, weird zombie flicks from the thousands. Same with Underworld. Like, I feel the same way about those 2 franchises. I love them, but they're trashy. You know, I don't care. I enjoy them. They're fucking fun. So I agree, man. I gotta watch those movies again. It's been a minute. I watched like 3, 4, and 5 like 2 years ago, I want to say, but I didn't rewatch 1 and 2. So at some point it's gonna happen, Locked. I love it. Great nostalgia. Absolutely. Extron saying, Jake, who didn't you guess in Scream 6? I didn't guess Ethan because I thought he was way too obvious. I'm like, he's too obvious to be our killer. I'm not gonna lie, like in the middle of the movie too, I'm like, I don't think they're actually going to do 3 killers. Like, there was a point where I was kind of thinking that at first. I'm like, they're not going to actually do 3 killers. That's insane. But here's my thing. Like, I know most people are like, oh, Quinn, I didn't expect that at all. Well, my thing is the moment they didn't show us a full-on death, I was just, the first thing I was thinking about was Spiral that literally did that same twist 2 years ago. I don't know, man. Like, if Spiral hadn't come out 2 years ago, maybe that would have gotten me, but like, that was the first thing I thought about. She's literally laying in bed and she doesn't notice Ghostface there. I don't know, man. There's too many things that were just weird about that scene to me. I guessed that almost immediately. But I genuinely did not think Ethan. I thought they cleared him, honestly, when he saved Mindy. I thought that those 2 were going to be the ones that came back. I really thought if it was going to be 3 killers, it was going to be, fucking what's his face, Danny, because like he was way too nice the whole movie, way too nice and understanding. I'm like, okay, this guy's doing all this on purpose. It would make sense if he was the one that attacked Gail too. He was literally the only character who was on that side. They got me there, honestly. I think that was all part of the Quinn mystery, but it ended up, for me at least, making Ethan less suspicious. So I thought I thought he was just like way too obvious, way too much of a red herring. But yeah, I don't know. That was just my experience with it personally. I know some people were like, oh man, Quinn totally got me. And I get it. But like I said, Spiral literally did the same twist. I will say Scream 6 did it better. No offense to Spiral. Like, I really do enjoy that movie. But the twist, it's just too obvious. It's way too obvious. Why wouldn't they show us a Saw trap in a Saw movie? You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, moving forward. Perry throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much, Perry. I appreciate that. Saying, what would you do if Ghostface ate a rat in part 7? Listen, you think I'm hot on Scream 6 right now. If Ghostface does this shit, I'll lose my fucking mind. I will come on here and I will say, listen, there is no argument. Scream 7 is the best film ever made. Like, not just in the franchise. It's the best movie that's ever been created. If you guys have not seen Babylon yet, I finally watched that. And listen, besides the fact that what I have always wanted to see on film actually happened, that was great. Besides that, though, Babylon from start to finish is a fucking amazing movie. It's not a horror movie, but I would almost go so far as to say that it's horror adjacent because of that scene alone. Like, there are some scary fucking moments in Babylon that really caught me off guard. I loved that movie. Ugh. And somebody eats a rat in it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. But it's very translated that it's going to happen, though. So that's not too much of a spoiler. You know it's going to happen at least 5 minutes before it happens. But that's all I'm going to say. I don't know, man. If that happens, yeah, I'll lose my mind. Perry, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. I talk about rats a lot. It's a little scary. I scare myself even a little bit with it, how much I talk about that. Oh, man. Who the fuck is Paul? Yeah, there's some good dialogue, man. I think Guy Busick, every movie I've seen of his, there's always a joke or some line of dialogue that really makes me laugh. That was one of those for me. I think in like Ready or Not, the entire conversation when we first meet the couple is really well done. I can't remember anything like specific just off the top of my head, but that whole conversation's really good. It feels very real. Like, it feels like conversations I've had with like girlfriends in the past, you know? I don't know. I really like the way that Guy Busick specifically writes dialogue. At least that's who I think is writing the dialogue from those two scenes. That's a constant between Ready or Not and these films. So that's just my guess. I like it though. I dig it. Dig it a whole lot. Yeah, the lair scene was straight out of a horror movie. Absolutely. Gerson, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yes. So good. Really well done. I'm like, oh, this is a horror movie now, 2 hours into this shit. Okay, let's go. Loved Babylon. See, I could not. I'm so pissed I didn't see that in the theaters. That would have been a great theater experience. But yeah, Babylon's great if you haven't seen it. And that's not even the craziest part about it. Like, there's crazier shit that happens in that movie. Go watch it. Oh, Redfield, I'm about to be such a piece of shit. I really am. I want to see Evil Dead Rise so much. Me too. And I get to see it on Thursday. I get to fucking see it on Thursday, dude. I'm losing my mind over here. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like I said, I'm gonna be such a piece of shit for like 2 seconds, but I am so excited to see that movie, dude. And I got tickets to see an early screening of it this Thursday, and I won't be able to talk about it until like the embargo lifts. But man, I haven't been able to see a movie like that early in a while. I remember I got to see like The Night House like an entire like week early before that one came out. That was really cool. Trying to think. I got to see Dash Cam like 2 months actually before that even came out, which was cool. But man, this is the one. I can't believe I get to see it early. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So speaking of which, I'm going to be at Horror Hound this entire next weekend. So you will not see any videos on this page from like Thursday to next Sunday. But like I said, if you're in the Cincinnati area, come on by. Come on by. I don't know. If you're around, if you're going to Horror Hound in Cincinnati, I will be there all 3 days. So come say hey. I'll be walking around. So shoot the shit. Shoot the shit with old Jake if you're there. I would love to say hello to some of y'all in real life and not just this. I love this. Don't get me wrong, but in real life, it's a little more, it's a little more valuable. So if you're in Cincinnati this weekend, come say hey. Come say hey. It'll be fun. I'm sorry, Mayanne. I'm sorry. I don't like the okay. It seems like I like to gloat after that, but I'm just really excited. I'm sorry. Well, we're all going to talk about it at some point, and I can't wait. It's going to be fun. We're all going to see it, too. Just a month away. We're almost there. I'll stop. I'm sorry, but I'm excited. I'm so excited. The king of the rats gets to look for eating rats, and you know what? It better fucking happen. It better happen, Sammy Verse. Oh, my God. A deadite eating a rat? Man, that's the next best thing, baby. That's the next best thing. Let's go. That sounded scary, saying Quinn's death scene was very sus to me. Who was that scene for anyway? Ghostface in Quinn's room? Was it only for Danny to see? Yeah, it was a little weird. It makes me think that they somehow knew that. Well, I guess actually, okay, thinking about that a little more, they would have known that Sam and the hot boy from across the way or whatever. They talk about that. Quinn talks about that with Sam early on. I for a while I was like, that was a little weird, but now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, that actually was for Danny to notice and somehow. Because think about it, they wanted our main characters to think that Quinn was actually dead. So if nobody saw her die, that would have made everybody think, oh, it's somebody in the group. You know what I mean? In this room, which actually probably would have been good, but it's probably better that Danny had seen it, pointed it out. Ghostface killed Quinn. That was the big thing that our killers wanted to get across in that scene. So it works for me. Is it a bit of a stretch that they would know that somehow this guy was home looking through the window? I mean, not really, because they set it up in a scene before, but I can see thinking that's a stretch. I get it. Night Owl saying, I think I'm too desensitized to gore horror to care about Evil Dead. That's crazy, man. I mean, some of the craziest gore I've ever seen is Evil Dead 2013, personally. Like, I still get upset by that movie. I said that dude, the fucking crowbar through the fingers. Man, just thinking about it, I'm like, I want to go throw up a little bit. Yo, I think I'm going. Oh, you live in Kentucky? Hell yeah, Ethan. Come on by and say hello. I'll be walking around all weekend, so come on by. Come say hello. I don't bite all the time. Sometimes I do, but I won't be in that mood this weekend. Anyways, Child's Play fan is saying, Killjoy Jake, I think the killer reveal was pretty underwhelming. If they were after Sam Tara, obviously it had to do with Amber or Richie's death. With Scream 2, it had more options for killers. That's a pretty good point. But I will here. I agree with you on it being pretty underwhelming. I do agree with you there. But I think there's a lot of reasons to kill Sam that they set up in this movie, though. Immediately right off the cuff, pretty much when we're introduced to Sam, we learn that there's this whole rumor going around that she was the killer. We also have our killers at the very beginning have an entirely different motive to kill them, which is different from our main killers. So already we have two motives technically. From totally different sets of ghost faces. So I don't know about that. I feel like there is a lot of options and a lot of reasons for why people wanted to kill Sam in this movie. But you do make a good point with Scream 2 being a little more mysterious. We had never done a parent type character in a film before Scream 2. So I see where you're coming from, but I do think there is a lot of reasons to kill Sam though. A lot of people to want to kill Sam, I guess is my point. Sam and Tara, any survivors of a Ghostface murder at this point. I will say, Child's Play fan, I wish they had done a different motive, but I think what they did, although it was familiar, it was executed well, in my opinion. I don't know, if you don't like Detective Bailey, you must not like Mrs. Loomis then, because they're both very wacky parent characters that have very outrageous performances. So, I don't know. It's like in my mind, it's nearly the same thing, except Detective Bailey has a little more interesting of a motive, personally. I think it's more than just, I'm angry that you killed my son. It's more, I'm angry that you killed my son and I kind of blame myself for it. And that's way more interesting to me than just pure anger and pure camp. Me personally, some people love camp. Some people, that's why they watch horror movies. They want to see the campiness, and I love it. I respect it, but I love being scared a little too. I like when you have a little bit of realism in your motive. It feels more scary to me. Where Mrs. Loomis feels like a horror villain, Detective Bailey feels a little more like this is a real guy who's upset about his child dying. To me, it's a little difference, but it's still a little goofy to me and still weird. Why this franchise has Genuinely, I don't understand why this franchise has an obsession with parent characters who are grieving the loss of their son or whatever, and they act fucking goofy. I'll never understand it. I have had friends who have lost children, which is fucking terrible. I know it's terrible, but they don't act they don't act that way. I can tell you that much. It's very, very odd choices to me personally, but I don't know. Did Jake write the Beat Off review? LMAO, I could definitely feel your spirit in that review that blew up Twitter for Evil Dead Rise. I wish I could claim that was me, because that's probably going to be my reaction. I love Evil Dead so much. Like, even if they put out a piece of shit, I would probably still love that. I probably still love it, just because I love the idea. The concept of Deadites is so interesting to me. There's so much you can do with that. You can make any character a good guy and a villain in an Evil Dead movie, and it's genius. And they've done it many times before. Ash has been a Deadite in these movies, and I love it. It's great. Evil Dead just conceptually is one of the most interesting types of horror, I think. So I don't know. It makes you think. It's also very schlocky. It's a bit of everything that I love about horror films, all thrown into one, thrown into one mix like that. So I don't know. I'm so excited for Evil Dead Rise. I really am. I can't wait. It's gonna be nice to have like a month to sit on it too, just to be like, to really collect my thoughts and then give you guys a review, because I won't be able to talk about it. Like, I won't even be able to express an opinion until the embargo lifts, but I'm really pumped. I'm really pumped to talk about it. Austin Daniels has thrown $5 in there. Thank you so much, Austin. Appreciate that. Let's go. Austin saying, what if they split 7 into 2 parts, Infinity War and Endgame style? The commentary could be how franchises stretch movies out to make more money. I like that. Obviously that needs more meat and potatoes, but I love the skeleton you're forming here. That's actually really interesting. Once again, I think that this franchise could do shit like this forever, personally. I think that there's so many little weird things you can comment on, not just in the horror space. We've already kind of commented on just requels in general with the last film. It's really 5 and 6 opens up this franchise to even bigger and brighter things moving forward because of the weird things they try. And not all of it is successful. I love Scream 6, but I'm not claiming it's a masterpiece, not at all. But I really like all the things that they've opened up this franchise to, the weirder shit that we can do now moving forward. So I don't know. I'm all about something like this. This would be really fun. I would love an announcement like that. But once again, with meta commentary, it's something that can't be done too in your face, or it's like, wow, this is too much. Like it's like when you throw too much salt on something. It's too salty, and you're like, ugh. You ever just shake salt into your mouth? It's horrible. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's not fun. That's kind of what like too much meta feels like. It's just, okay, we get it. You know, I get what you're trying to say. So as long as they do it a little more in the background, it's not right in your face. Bam, I'm down. Love it. Austin, thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a Killjoy cult member too. Oh, and I love your profile picture. Can I just say that? Can we just pull that back up on screen real quick? I wish I could just like make that bigger, you know, like on an iPhone. I wish I could just do that. That'd be great. I love it. Very funny. Villain killing Dylan throwing 5 in there. Thank you. Saying you win. I'm on the elevator headed for the ground floor. That's funny to me. Like, I think that's fucking hilarious. Ghostface just truly playing with their food. It's fun shit to me. I like it. And then she just keeps shooting through the door like, I'm not falling for that. No way. VKD, I appreciate the $5. Thank you. Yes! Let's go! The Pride mask is officially canon. We got that. We got a little guy just doing a little jig like that. I don't know who it was, but somebody doing a little jig in a Pride mask. Oh, okay, 2 big things about that one scene that I love. We got some big steps for the Scream franchise here. We got a Ghostface, not a Ghostface, a character wearing a Ghostface mask. That's that one right there, if I can point correctly, which was great. Love it. Love the representation. Then we also got our first bong rip in a Scream film, which let me tell you, that got some cheers. At least from me and my friends. We were like, yes, bong rip in the Scream franchise. Let's go. I knew it was coming when I read the R rating. It was like, oh, there's someone uses a bong in this, so we got to make it R rated. Oh, that's so bad. It's so scary. I was digging it. I was all about that. That was very exciting. Oh my God. Oh, what else do we got here? The funniest scene is when Gail tells Ghostface to hold, and he goes, what? Yeah. Can you hold? And then calls him back to find out where they are. That's great. That's actually really interesting. That we got that. I don't know. There's a lot of really great moments in this. And, you know, listen, I will be fair. I hear you. I hear you people out there who disliked this film. And I mean, a lot of it I do agree with, but my thing is like, listen, there's little issues with this film. There are little tiny things here and there, but to me personally, I've seen it 3 times. It's nothing that takes away from the overall story, at least in my opinion. Like I watch Scream 2 and I'm like, there is a very clear theme of sequels here going on. We're literally making a Scream movie within a Scream movie. That's awesome. There's so much there's so much movie commentary in Scream 2, and it just, to have your main character not be focused in that, and then to also have another killer kind of based in that, and then that's not the focus of your film, it's just very odd to me. I think that's why I've been so against the whole parent killer thing, but seeing it here done with a little more focus, like the whole movie kind of feels like it feels very family oriented. You see, like a lot of our characters are struggling with that. Like the core 4, they feel like a family, and they even say that they're like we're together, we're in this together, you know. And they're like a family. Sam and Tara have lost their mother. That was a big point. Little throwaway line of dialogue. I gotta move this cord or else it's gonna fucking flip flop around all over here. It's no fun. But Sam has a little throwaway line where she says like, oh yeah, you know, mom cut me off and now Tara doesn't want to talk to her either. They're lost. They don't have a family anymore. And I feel like our killers are going through the same thing. It's a more family oriented movie. It makes sense for our killers to be parents or something along the line, have their motive be something along the lines of family. They, in my opinion, I think they set it up a little better than Mrs. Loomis, who just kind of sucker punches you in the face and is like, oh, bam, we're doing family now. Screw the sequel stuff. So I don't know. To me, it's like the meta commentary I don't think is like done the very best in Scream 6. I think it's nice in the little places that they do it. There's no like constant, there's not really a constant theme to it. I don't know. Like there's little things here and there that I like, but it's nothing like, oh, bam, like here's meta commentary on this specifically. But I think they do the family thing a little better in Scream 6 because it's layered and it's set up and it doesn't feel like a punch to the gut. So I don't know. I like the way it's set up. Little better in my opinion, but you know, people love Scream 2. It's apparently the best film in the entire franchise. So who am I to say that I don't like the killer? I don't know. Vivid Gamer is saying when Gail did the hold line, I turned to my ex. Wait, what? We planned seeing the movie before breaking up? Whoa, you got to tell. Hold on. listen, I appreciate this story, but I need to know. You know what? That's your personal information. You don't need to put that in the chat. But you still went with your ex to see a movie, even though y'all broke up? Like, whoa, y'all must be huge Scream fans. That's all I gotta say. The commitment is there. I appreciate it. But anyways, and said, oh my fucking God, she star 69 his ass. Jada would be proud. Yes, absolutely. That's actually really funny. I'm sorry, I can't get off of this. Like, I hope that wasn't awkward. I hope you both enjoyed the movie, you know? Maybe some reconciliation took place. I don't know. Listen, I'm not trying to get into your personal life. I just like, it's a strange story. That's all. I'm just like, oh, interesting. Huh. What do you know? What do you know? It's awesome. Oh man, Gerald. Oh geez. There's 30-minute long rants on YouTube now about 6 because Nev isn't in it. that's kind of exhausting to me. Listen, I want her back in the franchise too. I want Nev back, and she deserves to be paid money, but you can't, like, listen, I didn't talk about Nev Campbell in my review because she's not in the film. You can't judge a movie based on something that just didn't happen like that. Like, that doesn't, I don't know how to feel about that. That's crazy to me. It's fine if you didn't like the movie, but if you didn't like it just because a character wasn't in it, that's wild to me. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think that the movie, I think it worked without Sidney Prescott. And if you had Sidney in this movie, it might not have, because like I said, the killers are obvious, but there's some dramatic irony that comes from that I think is really nice. But if Sidney was there, she would have figured it out. In fact, I kind of like that Gail had a limited presence in this film, because if Gail was more involved, I feel like she would have figured it out. So I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about this. Obviously, I want Nev Campbell back. I think she was done dirty by the studios. I want her to get more money, but like, the quality of the film, I don't think suffers from that. I think even if Gail wasn't involved with the film at all, I still think that this would have worked. But I don't know. That's nuts to me. That's like, listen, if you're upset about that, cool. But I don't. That's just nuts. A character being discluded from something. I mean, like, Creed 3 didn't have Rocky, and that was fucking awesome. I don't know. Like, are we gonna do the same thing with that too? I don't know. It's like, listen, I want Nev Campbell back. I hope she comes back for 7 all day, every day, but I don't know. It doesn't ruin a movie. It doesn't ruin a franchise just to not have one character there, especially when she's no longer the focus. Like, if 5 was all about Sydney and then she's just not in 6, yeah, that would suck. Like, what if there was no Sam in this movie, but we still had all the core 4 members? Then it wouldn't make any fucking sense. That's totally different. But I don't know. I mean, if we focus on Sydney again and then she's just not in the next film, yeah, that would totally ruin it. But like, 5 made it very clear that Sydney's like not the focal point of Scream anymore. And I think that's okay. If we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again with the same character, like I was talking about before, your mystery element is going to suffer. Like, how many people want to kill Sidney Prescott? You know what I mean? It's just like, we're starting to get to the point where it's a little too much. It's a little too, like, there's no way this is going to work as a mystery anymore. So I don't know. Just me personally. Logan C is saying, Jake, this is very random, but have you seen Bones and All? It's one of the grossest movies I saw all year. It's very good. You know, I just have not gotten around to this. It was not playing in theaters by me at all, so I never had a chance to see it last year. We were going to watch it at a meeting I had, and we just never ended up getting to it. But I do want to check this out. I've heard some really good things. I just have, like I said, I just have not had time to watch it. I don't think it's on any. Is it on anything? I don't even know where to watch this if I did want to watch it. Damn. Bones and All. Let's look this up real quick. Bones and All. Where the fuck? Oh man, did I hit the book. Silly me. Silly old Jake. Bones and All. Who else has seen this film? What do you guys think? I'm curious. Put it in the chat. Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet. Okay, watch this movie. It's on Redbox. It's on YouTube. I gotta pay money for it. But I already pay so much for streaming services. God, I want to watch this one though. I do really want to check it out. Didn't care for Creed 3. It's a shame. And you don't like black coffee? Russie, come on. No, I'm messing with you. I'm kidding. I don't want the focus on Sydney anymore. I like that it's about Sam and Tara. Why would we focus back on Sydney at the final chapter of the trilogy? No, I agree with you there. I'm just saying, like, moving forward once this story's done. Listen, here's my thing. I love Sidney Prescott. She's probably my favorite final girl of all time, and she's amazing. But there is such thing as a long-winded story, something that's great that goes on for a little too long, and I just don't want that to happen to Sydney. Like, I care about it's the same reason I don't want Stu to come back. If Stu comes back, it's going to be for fan service, and in my opinion is going to ruin that character's arc, because I love what they did for Stu in Scream 1. I think it's a really tragic story, and that's all we need. That is all we need from that character. And I would even though I love Scream 4, like, it's my former favorite sequel, it feels a little unnecessary to be focusing once again on Sydney. And because I feel like her story finishes in 3, and it does. Like, it really does. I feel like every 4 is like with the story, and then 5, her inclusion is reduced to like just more of a cameo, more or less, like third act backup. And I was even saying that's kind of one of my criticisms of Scream 5 is the legacy characters just felt like they didn't really, I don't want to say didn't belong, but it was just like I wish they could have used, they should have either made an entire movie about like new characters or an entire movie focusing on the main characters again, and somehow made it about Sydney again. I don't know, but I don't think there's any more story to tell, personally, unless they bring Sydney back into the Sam and Tara story. That's just my opinion. I just don't want her, and yeah, Anthony makes a really good point too. Sydney needs her happy ending. She deserves it. She's gone through some bullshit, Let her have her happy ending. Let's tell Ghostface stories with other characters. If Nev wants to show up in 7, hell yeah, all the power to you. If she wants to come in and have a little appearance or something, cool. Yeah, let's do it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, it's like, I'm happy with how her story is right now. I don't think that we need a continuation. I see so many things nowadays get really overplayed to the point where it's like, we don't need this, and this is ruining what was already so great. And I just don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for what is my favorite final girl, it would be like, I love Nev Campbell, I love Sidney Prescott, and I love Dewey, and I love fucking Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers. These are great characters, but I just feel like a lot of their stories are finished. Maybe not so much Gail. Gail is maybe the only one that I think has more story to tell, especially with what happens with 6, but that's about it. Like, I feel like there's more to tell with Gail, but I don't know. I don't know. With Sydney, I feel like the only way she's going to come back for 7 is in like a limited role where she's somehow helping out our twins, somehow helping out the core 4. Just me personally. And once again, it's not like I hate Sidney Prescott. I just think that we've told that story, and it's great how it is. But anyways, Joshua's throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Saying, I'm not somebody that's for or against Stu being alive, but Quinn's death and Detective Bailey's explanation for it was Stu foreshadowing. Wait, what? I'm not somebody that's for or against Stu being alive, but what is Quinn's death and Detective Bailey's explanation for it was Stu foreshadowing? I'm so confused as to what you were saying. Like, I know, yeah, Quinn says that she's a huge Stu fan, but I'm curious how that actually plays into Stu. I think that to me, what 6 was trying to say with this ending, with like the TV being pushed on Ethan's head, for instance, is I just feel like they're trying to say, yeah, he's dead, and there are conspiracy theorists out there who believe that he's not. And wow, crazy that happened in a meta horror slasher. That's nuts. Yeah, like, listen, they're totally not, I don't think they're ripping on the fan base. They're poking fun. Once again, this franchise has always poked fun, where the Scary Movie franchise is just directly ripping on shit. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. It's just they're two different flavors. I don't think Scream is ever malicious in its commentary. It's just pointing the finger. You know what I mean? It's just being like, this is something that happens. Haha. Where Scary Movie is like, this sucked, and we're gonna make fun of it like a whole bunch, and that's fine. And that's okay. They're both two different flavors of kind of a similar salt lick, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like that's what they're trying to say in the third act with the whole Stu commentary. But that's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts, Joshua. I appreciate the $5 though. Thank you. Is Quinn a Stab fan? I feel like she's more of just a real life murder fan, which is kind of fucked up to say. I think that was a big point that these killers were trying to make to once again stand out. They're not fans of the movies, where a lot of our killers have, or have been either involved with the Stab movies or had some motive revolving around that. I like that they were just fans of the real life killers. It's kind of fucked up to me. And I feel like that stems from Richie's obsession with the Stab movies. So I feel like they didn't actually like to me how it comes off, at least, and how I picture it is that Richie was a big fan of him, and he like made his siblings kind of work on these movies with him, you know, and then they were like, okay, you know, Richie, we'll make your Stab fan film, sure, you know, think Jamie in Red Right Hand. Kind of a similar energy. That's at least how I imagine it in my head. And he's kind of cringe. He's kind of way too passionate about this, so much so that he even goes on to kill people and become Ghostface himself. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Once again, just what I'm thinking. Anyways, slasher in suits saying bones and all costs like 15 to 20 million. What's going on, Brian? By the way, yo. Looks like it was 300K. Too many off-screen deaths as well. Off-screen deaths. I'm hearing gore. It's gore crazy. Damn. Well, shit, I gotta watch it now. I'm hearing conflicting things. That always has me so excited. Hot take, but I love when somebody says, this movie's fucking awesome, it's the best thing ever. And then someone else says, this is the worst piece of trash movie I've ever seen. I love when we get conflicting reviews. That has me so excited going into a movie. You never know what you're gonna get with a movie like that. I'm even more excited when we hear shit like that, because then I'm like, oh fuck, what is this gonna be? Is this a mess, or is this fucking awesome? You usually have a lot more to talk about with movies like that, whether you loved them or hated them. So I love shit like that. Kool-Aid 203 is saying Annika's screams during her stabbing were absolutely heartbreaking. I know, and almost traumatizing. Made me feel so bad for her in that situation, but that's a testament to how good the horror in 6 is. Damn. Yeah, there's some genuinely scary moments in that fucking movie, man. I was fucking terrified. I was some moments. Annika's death was absolutely one of those. One of those moments for me. I was like, holy shit, that was brutal. The opening scene was brutal. The fucking Gail's whole scene, I was in suspense. I'm like, oh my God, don't kill Gail. Don't do that, Ghostface. What are you doing? I totally agree. I think her whole performance here was heartbreaking. She's literally screaming, I don't want to die, and then fucking dies. It's like, bro, what? I could feel it in that moment too. Like I knew it was coming, but it was like, oh, this is gonna suck when it hits. And it hit, bro. It hit that fucking dumpster. Holy shit. Kool-Aid 203, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I preferred Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills Halloween Kills and Scream 6. You prefer Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is underrated as fuck. That's definitely the underdog there, I think. But I think I still like Scream 6 a little more personally. But Kills is great, man. Kills is just a really fun, dumb movie, and it's fun. It's fun from start to finish. It's the same reason I like the new Texas Chainsaw movie that came out last year. Was it good? No, but it's so fucking fun. Oh my God, it's brutal. It's brutal, man. Ooh. Child of the Corn is here. What's up, Anthony? How's it going, man? Throwing $2 in there. Thank you. Saying thoughts on a Christmas setting for Scream 7. I love that. Like, I love that so much. Ghostface in the snow is it's very necessary. Like, I think it would just be so cool. It would work, I think, for the next film too. The next chapter in this story, I think it would work really well. Because, like, man, New York gets snowy. Like, believe it or not, there is snow in New York. We could totally do that. And we could go to another location too if we're sick of New York. I feel like that was the whole thing with Scream 6. It's like, it's New York Scream. Let's see what happens there. So I don't think I want another movie in New York. As much as I loved it as a backdrop for this new film, I think I want something else, and this could be it. Christmas Scream. Why not? Here's my other thing about that, though, Anthony. Something that actually literally just got announced today. Your boy did a video on it. If you got to see that, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you out there, by the way, who watch more than just my Scream content. Believe it or not, we do that here. Believe it or not, this is a horror channel. Some people don't know that, but yes, this is a horror channel. We talk all things horror, not just Scream. But I talked a little bit about Jordan Peele's new movie, which is releasing on Christmas of 2024. So if Scream 7 and all the rumors are true about it, that they're going to go into production later this year and have it out sometime in 2024, I don't think it should go up against the Jordan Peele movie. Listen, Scream is fucking huge, but so are Jordan Peele movies. and as much as I love the Scream franchise, you know, this 5 makes 140 million. This is at 120 million so far. You know, Get Out alone blows those out of the water. $255 million at the box office. Us, $255 million at the box office too. Holy shit. And then also Nope, 170 million at the box office, still blowing out both of those movies. So I don't know if that would be a good time to do it right now, even though that might still be a thing. Like, it might be. It absolutely might be. But who knows? Personally, I'm all for it. I want to see the winners. I want to see Christmas Scream at like maybe in a different location, where we start off in winter set, all that. Like that's our opening kill. We move out of New York. We got to get out of New York at this point. We can't do another one in New York. At least I don't think. I'm open to it, but I feel like we already did New York Scream. Let's move on to something else. So I'm totally down to see it, but I don't know if Christmas specifically is the best idea. Like maybe we could release this in like October and have it be snowy set. You know what I mean? That's my thing. That's getting real specific and weird though. So maybe it works. Maybe they release it in early December and it has its theatrical run, like its first 2 weeks essentially in early December. But once again, also going up against Avatar 3 and Sonic 3. So a lot of competition. And December 2024 is going to be a crazy fucking time for movies. But I don't know, man. I'm staying open to it. I'm so down for all that bullshit. So Scream 7, let's have it in the snow somehow. If it's Christmas setting, if it's snowy, however we do it. Anthony, I love it. Thanks for the $2. I got to do a whole video on that too, because Christmas Scream would be awesome. I've watched a lot of fan films recently. Scream Live just came out. If you guys haven't seen that, by the way, bunch of our buddies worked on that. Joshua Chislett and Blake Early, who also did the voice for Red Right Hand. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. It's really well done. They have a Christmas tree in the background and all that, and I'm like, man, I wish this was a full movie, because that would be so fucking cool to do Christmas Scream in like a cabin somewhere or something. That would be really cool. So yes to that. Let's see that happen. El Chupacabra is saying Scream 7 Spring Break in Hollywood. That would be cool too. I'm not against the Hollywood setting again, as long as they do something different than what they did in 3. But I don't want them to go to Hollywood and then also not copy, but also hit similar plot beats to 3, because then I'm just like, dude, listen, now you're just making 3 again. 6 was different enough from 2, and I'll take it, but man, don't be doing Scream 3 again. Don't be doing a remake. If we go to Hollywood, okay, fine. But you either got to make it like the darkest Scream film ever and completely lose the camp, or you just have to have it be way different from Scream 3. You have to have some differences, because like a lot of people are saying like, oh, Scream 6, it has a college backdrop. Does it though? Because honestly, in my opinion, the only reason college was even a thing in Scream 6 was to bring our characters to New York City, which is the actual backdrop of that film. I don't remember that from Scream 2. High-rise building chase scenes, people falling off of fucking ladders from tall buildings. I don't know. It's different enough. Like I said, similar things used in both movies, used for totally different purposes. Scream 2, the backdrop is literally the college, and it's why they're there. So we just use that one little tiny piece of Scream 2 to bring our characters to New York City, which we could have done differently, sure, but I think it works with the story that they told. I like it. I like it. It's familiar. It's nostalgic. It's fun. Does it annoy you that I like TCM 2022 better than Scream 6? It doesn't annoy me. It's your opinion, Victor. I don't care. My movie opinions are movie opinions, man. Who cares? That's fine. It doesn't annoy me. I like that film. I like both of these movies that you're talking about. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is insane. Like, it's just insane. It's just an insane, that has a lot of plot. That has some stretches in it though, like way bigger stretches than Scream 6 to me personally. But like they don't know how a deed works in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, but once again, I'm not there for the fucking plot. I don't give a shit. I want to see Leatherface fuck up some people on a party bus, and I got that in that fucking movie. Fuck, is it fun? I still think Fede Alvarez ghost directed that movie, but that's just me. That's my conspiracy theory. Don't go repeating that other places, because that's me wearing my tinfoil hat saying that that's what happened. I don't know if that's what happened. I wasn't fucking there. Where'd they film that? Like Belgium or whatever? Wasn't Texas. I'll tell you that much. Plus Scream 2 was on college for literally the whole movie. Exactly, Extron. We did the college movie already. And like, listen, if Scream 6 was we're on Blackmore University the entire time, then yeah, it's Scream 2 again. But that's not what they did. They played into the New York things a lot more than everything else. So I liked that. It was literally just an excuse to get our characters to New York City. And I think we already had that with Gail Weathers being in New York. We could have figured something out, but I don't know. Just me. Jake, do we do you think if we get Sydney in Scream 7, we won't see much of the core 4? It's going to be the other way around. I'll tell you that for sure. It would be, and if it wasn't, it would be weird and it wouldn't work. And I'll tell you right now, all the people who are complaining and super upset about Sydney not being in this movie would also be the same people who are going to complain about the core 4 not being in 7 all that much if that was to happen. I guarantee it. Look at all the people, look at all the shit that's happening for Sam Carpenter right now. People love Sam Carpenter. That wasn't the case 3 weeks ago. I can guarantee you, I have loved Sam Carpenter since I saw her in 5, and people did not like that character. Oh man, no way. People were not fans of her, but now everybody loves Sam. Now everybody's like, Sam Carpenter's the greatest final girl character of all time. Hell yeah. People's minds change every single day, man. You might have, listen, that's why I try to make it a theme on this page not to take movie opinions too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's going to change. It is probably, my opinion on Scream 6 could change tomorrow morning, probably. It could. My opinion changes on movies all the time, so why am I going to argue somebody to death over it? It's crazy. It's crazy that we have people say like, you're an idiot for liking this movie. Like, what? No. You're an idiot for thinking that someone could be an idiot for liking something. So I don't listen. Movie opinions change so frequently. Don't be a dick when you're arguing movie opinions. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Your opinion's going to change all the time, and that's fine. That's so fine. I am not, like, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people, we had a conversation this past weekend with some of my buddies about how they stopped watching reviewers because they disagree with them, and I just don't agree with that. I watch a lot of reviewers that I don't agree with at all, but I still love their content. Like Meat Canyon, I love Meat Canyon so much, but his take on Scream 6 is trash in my opinion. I love him to death, like I said, but man, I just don't think he really likes Scream movies from his Scream 6 review, and that's fine, you know, not everyone has to like him, but I just feel like everyone has a different take on things, and that's so fine. That's totally fine. We all like what we like, we all hate what we hate, and that's fine. Everything's good. Everything's good, you know? Moving on. Anyways, John Smith is throwing $5 out there. Thank you, John Smith. I appreciate that. Saying, I only want Scream 7 with the entire Radio Silence creative team and the entire cast intact. Maybe a 2-year break in between. It's tough, man. I adore 6. I do too. I really, I really want the same creative team. And like, listen, once again, Star Wars, the requel trilogy, 7, 8, and 9. Living proof that changing your creatives every single film is not a good move no matter what. I mean, I think that Star Wars 7, it's not a perfect movie, you know, but I think it does set up some things nicely for a continuation that go nowhere. And then sometimes you even have creatives doing the same. Well, actually, that's not true. You have different writers with all 3 of those movies, but I look at the Halloween movies, you know, the new Halloween movies we just got. It's probably the best example of this. It's closer to horror. Different writers on every single movie, but all 3 of those movies have the same director. They clearly took it in different directions in every single movie. They did not want to tell a concise story, even though that's how they set it up. And I think it was very strange to me. So to me, having the same creative team in every facet is very important, from the directors to the writing. And even if you hate it, like I said, it's not going to get better if you just throw it's not going to get better if you throw more writers, more directors at it. It's not. It's going to get more confused and worse. I look at 7, 8, 9, man, I don't know. It's a shame. I don't want them to change. Let's just keep it going. Let's have them finish out their story. And if you fucking hate this story, well, guess what? We're probably going to have a new creative team when it comes to 8, when that probably happens too, because this is a very marketable franchise. They're making lots of money on this bad boy. So we'll get more in the future. Don't worry. No problem. No issues. But John Smith, I adore 6 too. I had a blast with it. I'm so glad it happened. So all the love, man. Thanks for the $5. Thank you. Theo, is it Theo Lopez? But is that right? Theo Lopez? Lopes probably makes me sound like an idiot saying that. But Theo, welcome to the chat, saying, do you think any of the returning characters can be the killers for the next film? It's always someone new, never the OGs. Well, we do have a character who is pretty sus and mildly underdeveloped that I think could be our killer in the next film. We have Josh Segarra, who was very suspicious the whole time, little too understanding of everything that was going on, and I thought that's how they were going to make him the killer. But I think, yes, we could totally have that happen for 7. I would love to see Danny become a killer too. It would be really interesting to me, especially with how way too chill he was Way too damn chill he was in that movie with everything going on. So I'm very interested in seeing something like that happening. And I feel like we've already set that up now with 6 moving into 7. There wasn't a whole lot of setup from 6 moving into another film, but that was one of those things, I think. Kyle Wilder. Sorry, Kyle, I can't fucking say words today. Throwing $2 in there. Thank you so much, Kyle. I appreciate that. Saying Gail dies in 7, her funeral brings everyone back. You know, here's the thing. This actually makes sense because Gail is a constant through every single movie. If she died, that would bring everybody back into the mix. Like literally every character you want to bring back in, that's how you do it. I mean, that's how you do it right there. And Gail is being mocked up as kind of a villain again, which I think is interesting. She hasn't, like in 5, they tried to make her more of like, oh man, Dewey died. Like, I'm not writing about these assholes. I'm writing about Dewey. But then she doesn't end up doing that. You know, she can't help herself. That's just who she is on the inside. In the moment, you know, she was feeling Dewey's loss, and I think that's why she said that. But in 6, now she's resorted back to Gail Weathers as who she really is. And I think that I don't want to say she deserves to die at this point, but I feel like her arc has skewed in a new direction. I almost felt like they were trying to make Gail Weathers a good character now, but she's still that money grubbing reporter that she's always been. She might be a nicer version of that now, but she's still that character. And I would love to see, like I said, I don't want to say she deserves to die, but it's like, that would almost be a fitting conclusion to her story. Once again, a tragedy, just like how Dewey's ending was. He was just a nice guy who wanted to help, and he ended up getting caught in the line of fire. But I almost feel like Gail should die now at this point. I was on the fence about that, moving into 6 with her kind of having this like up on her arc, but now she's kind of moved down a little bit now, back towards the antagonist side of things. So if she dies, moving in 7, maybe, I don't want to say an opening kill, but that would be kind of crazy if they had her as an opening kill, but I don't know. I could see it happening, honestly, now. Once again, you talked to me 4 weeks ago, I wouldn't have said that, but no, everything I know about Gail now, I'm like, okay, I can see it happening. Kyle, thanks for the $2, though. I appreciated it. I appreciate it. Words, man. Words. Anyways, what if Sid's kids, I like that, are in the Ghostface cult in Scream 7? Man, Sydney's got a bad track record with fucking family members wanting to kill people. That's fucking crazy. Her niece, her half brother, now her fucking kids are Ghostface. Damn. Poor Sydney. That's all I got to say about that, man. I'd be so sad. Why does everyone around Sydney just wants to kill people? Kool-Aid is saying, I love the parallel between the big oh shit realization and rescue scenes in 5 and 6. You get Sam and Dewey saving Tara, and then Sam and Tara saving Gail, basically returning the favor. I never even thought about that until now. That's actually really fucking awesome. They kind of happen at the same time in those respective movies too. That's really interesting to think about. Yeah, I actually, I kind of like that. I like that a lot, Kool-Aid. This is another reason why I feel like we've resolved a lot of things from 5 moving into 6. You know, I feel like we've almost told the core 4 story now at this point. And if we do another continuation, I'm open, you know, I'm totally down for it. I want to see it happen, but I just feel like the ending of 6, we could have set up something really cool for 7 and we didn't. If I could change something about 6, I would change 2 things and that's it. I would leave Detective Bailey alive and go to prison, because I think it would have been a more powerful moment if Sam didn't kill him. He deserved to die. He absolutely did, but we could have built on that for the next film, I think. And once again, I wanted that cliffhanger so bad here, but we didn't get it. I also would have had Sam keep the mask in her purse, or whatever, in her bag, whatever it was. That would have been so much more cool. That would have been so much more intriguing. It's like, wait, he's still alive? He's going to prison? All the cops rush in there and handcuff him, you know? It's like, oh, fuck. This has never happened before. And then also, if Sam would have kept the mask, it's like, what does this mean? Like, dude, we're setting up something crazy for the next movie. I just don't feel that at the end of 6. I really like it. I like what they did, but I'm just like, I just feel like we're in the same place that we were at the end of 5. You know, that felt very conclusive. Same with this film. And I don't know. I think I wanted Scream 6 to just be a little darker. So final thoughts, and I'm going to wrap up the stream here, but final thoughts on the film is, could it have been better? Yeah. But is Scream 6 still a banger? Absolutely. I still loved it. I still had a really fun time with it. Although I feel like they could have made it darker. I feel like they could have made the ending a lot more like, oh shit, we're setting up something way bigger for the next movie. But like I said, you know, Radio Silence has some other things going on that they probably want to focus on more. And I get it. You know, you just got the keys to the fucking John Carpenter kingdom too. Like they did Wes Craven. Now next up, they're doing John Carpenter. I get it. You know, I totally get why they're excited for Escape from New York. I would be too. Holy shit, those movies are great just alongside Scream as well. So I get why maybe they don't want to do 7. They're moving into new territory. I get it. But at the same time, I wish they could have told a big, long, crazy story across 3 movies. But that's any fan would wish that. You know what I mean? Any fan of any franchise is going to wish something like that. So me personally, I would have loved to have seen that in 6, but I still love it. I think it opens the big thing about 6, I think at the end of the day, is that for me, the goods outweigh the bad. There is some bad, but I think the big things that this did for this franchise is huge. We have opened up Scream to some much weirder possibilities opposed to just being a self-contained story now. It's like, maybe we can do some bigger things moving forward. And if we're going to keep the franchise going, I just don't want them to keep doing the same old every single time. Now it's not a crazy outlandish concept to say that we could do an entire movie from a Ghostface's perspective. That's not even crazy to suggest at this point. Scream 6 just did it. We also have 2 Ghostfaces killing people at the same time. It's no longer, like, I've been saying this for a long time, but it's no longer about the 2 Ghostface twist anymore. It's not. We know it's going to be 2. We know it's maybe going to be 3 at this point. We've opened up the door to some crazier shit moving forward in the franchise with 6, and without it, I don't think we would have that. This franchise would have just kept going in the same route they were going, where it's like, here's a same setup, you know, opening kill, cast of characters, let's meet them, Ghostface attacks along the way, and then the reveal in the 3rd act. This opens up the door to some crazier shit, I think. So I'm excited to see what the future of this looks like. I'm excited. I'm very excited, and I'm excited to talk about Scream 7 tomorrow on another stream. So join me there Tuesday. I think I have it for 7 o'clock as well. So 7 o'clock Eastern, stop on by. Let's talk about our Scream 7 predictions, because there's a lot to talk about. Even though 6 might not have set up a 7, I still feel like there's a lot to talk about. If it's what the setting's going to be, a lot of us want a Christmas winter setting. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the logistics of that. Some good shit there. So join me tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.